And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. Hail Marys, located in Cheviot. They're on Harrison Avenue, right in the Dora District. You can go from bar to bar with your drinks, or you can just hang out at Hail Mary's. They have 27 TVs, a 9-screen video wall. There's not a bad seat in the house. They subscribe to every sports package that DirecTV offers. You can stream all the games, and Cincinnati sports will always be on the video wall. They will, Saturday night, have the Bearcats on the video wall as they take on TCU to end the regular season. They have brand new walk-in coolers, brand new draft lines, and guess what? Not only do they pour the coldest Cincy Light in town, but they do so in 32.8 degree frosted glasses. Get the Hail Marys, watch the Bearcats, have a Cincy Light, tell them Bearcat Journal sent you. All right, Aaron, let's get this show on the road. It's a double dip today since the holidays kind of jumbled everything up. We have not only do we have 3 keys, but we'll also take a look at the Big 12. We've got one game underway. Or not take a look at the Big 12. What do we need? Do we need to take a look at the Big 12? We do. Yeah.
We will be taking a look at the Big 12.
There's one game underway, but I think we both would have predicted the way that one is going.
Defeated.
So, Aaron, take it away with your 3 keys.
All right. For my 3 keys this week, it's not rocket science at this point in the season. Number 1, third and manageable. They can't get out of their own way on third downs. It's been an Achilles heel throughout these losses. And look, if you're finishing 25% or worse on third down, and once you tabulate fourth down into that, and it gets even worse, yeah, you're not going to win a game. You've got to figure out how to get closer to 50% and figure things out from there. But third and manageable would be the very first thing. If you're going to play small ball, dink and dunk and start to get 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards here and there, and actually dink and dunk. You can't play dink and dunk and then decide you're not going to dink and dunk.
Well, you also have to complete the passes on first and second down. That helps.
Yeah. Third and manageable. Key 2, keep them in front of you. Defense is going to have their hands full with this TCU offense. I am anxious to see what the defense looks like, largely because it's going to be cold. So I don't know if these guys are going to be able to make the catches that they are accustomed to making when it's 70 degrees. But you got to keep them in front of you regardless. If you aren't keeping them in front of you, this game is going to get out of hand quickly. And third, if you can't kick and you can't cover kicks, then you got to score. So I don't know what's going on with special teams. Special teams has been an abomination over the course of the last couple of weeks. And last week, they just decided to punt twice and then throw punting out the window. So if you're not going to kick, if you're not going to be able to cover those kicks, then you have to score. You have to. Otherwise, c'est la vie.
It's gonna be a long, cold Saturday night at Nippert Stadium. The score part, whether they kick or cover or any of it, they scoring would be more than 24 would be nice.
It'd be an improvement.
It's been a while since the offense has gotten going. All right, here we go. Get physical. The cold can be an advantage, but if you let TCU get comfortable, it is not going to be an advantage. If their receivers are running routes and they're about to catch a ball, hit them hard. Like, attack the football, attack each play, and that's how you make somebody that's cold feel even colder. And they walk back to the sidelines and they say, you know what I don't want to do? I don't want to take this big, warm, puffy jacket off. I don't want to get off of this heated bleacher and go back out to the field.
Look, I have no idea what you just said. All I can think about is Olivia Newton-John and that ridiculous music video. I want to get physical.
That's why.
Laying down, doing the hip thrust, laying down. I'm just saying. Yep.
That's what I was aiming for.
That's all I could think about the entire time you were talking.
Number 2, Kiner on repeat. over and over again. It's his final
the
game
hits.
at Nippert Stadium. Play the hits. Give him the football. Let him just run into TCU's defenders over and over again. Make them feel it. Aaron, it was 84 degrees in Dallas this week. I know these TCU guys, their quarterback came out and said, I love the cold. It is one thing to say you love the cold. It is a complete other thing for one day to be in 85-degree weather in shorts and T-shirts, and then the next day to be in 22-degree weather with 15-mile-an-hour winds trying to play football. Give the ball to Corey and let him just crash into as many dudes as they can. See if they'll quit, right? Like both of these points center around that. See if you can get them to say, you know what? We're bowl eligible. We're at 7 wins. Let's just get the hell out of Cincinnati. We have seen it happen here before, but if you just let the receivers run free in open space, they're going to catch the football. And if you just kind of sit back and try to play a passing style game, you don't make them regret being out on that football field. Both of those things are right in the same vein.
I'm showing kickoff should be 31 degrees and dropping to 29 by the end of the game.
Yeah, it's going to be cold. Finally, field position. The other team has started in great field position 3 games in a row. Cincinnati has started in terrible field position 3 games in a row. You have got to get that back on track. When Cincinnati was in position, when they were winning games and in position to win games at the start of this season, they were dominating field position. And you have to establish that early. You can't take the opening kickoff, go 3 and out, punt the ball to them. They get it at the 40-yard line, and instantly the field position battle is against you. You have got to figure out a way early and often, pin them back inside their 10 or inside their 20, make them travel all the way down the football field to score touchdowns or kick field goals. You cannot let them start at the 40, the 45. Like there has been way too much of that over the past 3 weeks, and that is why this team has struggled.
Especially not against a team with an aerial attack that TCU has.
Right. So there you go. There's my 3 keys. Let's get physical.
The hip thrusts. they crack me up every time.
All right, let's get to Big 12 land as we go through week 14. We've got a game in progress. It is not close. Second quarter is about over. Colorado is rolling Oklahoma State 21-0. Shadur has been great. Travis Hunter has a touchdown and an interception. Dion is calling go routes on 4th and 25 or 35 or whatever I just saw. Colorado is clowning Oklahoma State, and we would have predicted as such.
For sure. Yeah.
If we had a chance.
Oklahoma State was not going to be ruining their defeated season with a win against Colorado at Colorado.
Especially after Colorado probably crapped away their chances at the playoff last week against Kansas. Utah UCF spread UCF -9.5, total 46.5. Both of these teams stink. I guess UCF. I mean, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable with this one at all. If I had to bet it, 9.5 is a lot, but I think UCF probably covers that.
I think you're right.
Utah's offense stinks. So
I think you're right, and I think it puts UCF in a precarious position if they do get a 5th win. Do you fire Gus Malzahn at 5-7 after this year?
Probably. I think you have to. I don't know that they will. I don't know that they have the money.
I think that's the problem. Yeah.
Ultimately, though, if you know you need to fire your coach, you should probably fire your coach.
I completely agree. Figure out the rest of the stuff
long enough. Gus has been there long enough. It is not trending up. It is trending down.
Yeah.
Not great for them. Kansas at Baylor. Baylor, actually, Kansas favored by 1. 61.5 is the total. I think Kansas runs out of gas. I think 3 straight wins over ranked teams. They do have a chance to get bowl eligible. But I think I'm going to roll with Baylor here and take the point.
Well, 61.5 is your over under.
A lot of points. Yeah.
I think that this comfortably hits over. That said, give me Baylor. Baylor's been rolling.
Yeah. I think we're both on Baylor. Their offense has been outstanding of late. Kansas, to be fair, nobody's been rolling more than Kansas in the whole country. 3 top 25 wins in a row.
Yeah.
I just think that I think they got up. Like they were on fire for 3 weeks looking at all those ranked teams. I think they come back down to earth, and I think Baylor's offense gets them. West Virginia, Texas Tech. This could be a big one for West Virginia in the do they or don't they keep Neil Brown sweepstakes. I think it's really hard to fire him at 7-5. At 6-6, I think it's more it's an easier pill to swallow. Texas Tech favored by 3, 64.5 is the over-under.
I am going, my heart says West Virginia. My head says Texas Tech. At -3, I don't know that I would touch this, truthfully. 64.5. I think it's under.
I do too. I'm going to take Texas Tech. Noon, FS1, Saturday. I'll go Texas Tech. Arizona State, Arizona.
Well, it looks like we lost you for at least several seconds here. Arizona State, Arizona, 9-2. Arizona State, Arizona 4-7. Arizona State favored by 8.5. Okay, well, Arizona State favored by 8.5. That line started at 9. Arizona State's been rolling. This is I would think, a rivalry game.
Of course, it is essentially also for Arizona State to play for a Big 12 championship. Like if they win, I think they're in.
There's a lot on the line here.
I don't know that I'd touch the point spread. Arizona State's going to win. I fear Arizona may keep it a little closer than expected, just rivalry game.
I think Arizona is going to pull off a crazy upset. I think it's going to be absolutely wild, and Arizona State's going to be wondering what the hell just happened.
Well, and also every team that has gotten to that catbird seat in the Big 12 has subsequently lost almost immediately.
Yep.
So I think Arizona State finds a weird way to pull it out, which they've done a good deal this season. But if Arizona wins, I wouldn't be surprised. And it would make up for a lot of what the hell just happened to Arizona all season.
53.5 is your over-under on this one. I'm taking over. I think that this one's going to be just a bloodbath.
Farmageddon, 7:30, Fox. Kansas State, Iowa State. Iowa State favored by 2.5. One of Kansas State's best players, one of their wide receivers, just is going to enter the transfer portal. Some locker room issues are starting to come out, circling around Manhattan, Kansas. Initially, I thought Kansas State because we saw them 2 weeks in a row. Kansas State looked better than Iowa State looked when Cincinnati played them. But I think I'm going to go Iowa State here. I think Iowa State finds a way to win at home on Senior Day.
I'm going Iowa State because they're at home and because I don't like Avery Johnson. That said, 51.5 is your...
I don't like Avery Johnson.
Don't like him. 51.5 is your over-under on this one. I think it's under.
I could see it being pretty physical.
21-17 or something like that.
Yeah, and we've seen Iowa State's defense do that to teams a lot this year, hold them to under 20. So I think I'm with you. I think under. And then finally, 10:15 ESPN, the final Big 12 after dark of the season. BYU favored by 13.5 over Houston.
Favored by 13. I'm seeing minus 12.5 is what it opened at. I think BYU destroys Houston. I think 13 is probably, I know that their offense isn't prolific, but I think 13 is probably still not enough grace for what BYU is going to do to Houston. So I'm taking the over on 13. And the funny part is 41.5 is your over under. That's, I would think over. I would think, but we also know that Houston stinks, and BYU is probably going to hold Houston to less than 14.
The funny thing is, Aaron, I think if this was at Houston, I might be like, BYU just had their entire bubble deflated, essentially. Like they were riding high, they had everything, and then like
they're still playing for something. Houston's not playing for anything.
Well, they might not be at 10:30 at night. Like if Iowa State and Arizona State win, they're in.
That's true. Yeah.
So by the time kickoff happens, like I said, if it was in Houston, I would be tempted to take Houston at altitude, at night, at BYU. I think BYU does win.
I also don't think Fritz is going to let his team give up, but
yeah, they're going to play hard. You know that about them. I think it'll be closer than people expect. I might take the points. I might take Houston in the points, but I think BYU wins. I do think though I would be tempted to take Houston if it was in Houston. All right.
Anything hoops?
For
this weekend?
There's not a whole lot that's happening the rest of the week. I mean, it was an insane week through Feast Week for the Big 12. There was a lot of action. Of course, the thing won't pull up.
Arizona plays West Virginia.
Yeah. That's
today.
A conference game.
Right, the non-con conference game.
Yeah. NC State BYU. I think that's going to be an interesting one. BYU, the 6.5 point favorite there. Arizona State St. Mary's should be good.
St. Mary's favored.
Yeah. St. Mary's had a big one yesterday. Nothing on Saturday, nothing really on Sunday. Nothing really on Monday. Cincinnati Villanova on Tuesday. BYU Providence on Tuesday. So not a whole lot of action as teams kind of get back from their MTEs and get situated. So we should have more on that front as we get to Wednesday and start talking about what's coming up next weekend. All right, that's going to do it. Everybody enjoy your Friday. Have a wonderful Saturday. We will see you tomorrow night after the game. This is the Nightcap, live from the Cincy Light Studios, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. See ya!